Your arms are somewhere down by your side, wherever they're comfortable. And if you bring your focus into your right leg, then what you're going to do is you're going to start to turn your right foot inward so it's pointing a little bit toward the left foot. And you'll notice already your knee falls out a little bit to the right. And then you're going to just gently stroke with your sole of your right foot up along the inside of your left leg until you get to about the knee, just letting the right knee fall out as far as it wants to go. And you never really touch the floor with your foot. It's just gently stroking along the left inner leg up to about the level of the knee. And then just slowly let it stroke back down towards the initial resting position. Now there's not as much of a focus on the upper body with this one. It's very much a lower body one, but I'll show you some of the supporting pieces that can happen with the upper body. So come back once again with your right foot turning inward, stroke along that left leg and let your head fall out to the left a little bit. And maybe even your left arm opens outward, rotates outward a little bit. So you get a little bit more pressure into that left shoulder blade, and you'll notice now that it balances with a little bit more pressure into the right hip. And then just let your foot come back down. Now let's try this with the opposite side. So let your left foot turn inward a little bit, stroke up along the right leg toward the knee, and your head turns out toward the right. Your right arm turns outward a little bit until you get that sense of engagement into the right shoulder blade a bit and the left hip. Hang out there, just feeling that arch and curl thing of slight engagement through the back of the body and slight opening through the front, and then just come back towards center. So this is a lovely way of just getting the sense of how that opening in the hip coordinates all the way through the upper body. There's a second part to this which is a little bit more challenging. So if you come back to the right leg, now we're going to work on inward rotation. So the first part is that you're going to start thinking of turning your sole of your foot outward toward the right, as if you were going to touch something to the right of you, which means your leg's going to start to turn inward a bit. Not quite as easy to do, but that knee is going to that right knee is going to fall a little bit down toward the left knee as you start to bring the foot as if you were stroking along something to the right of you and up to about the same level as you did on the right foot going inward. And your right knee falls down toward the left knee. But the tricky part is, once again, you don't want to support your foot on the floor. So it's just kind of moving along, just ghosting above the floor. You can slightly touch the floor, but you shouldn't be supporting on the floor. And at the same time, your head turns out toward the right. Your head is always turning in the direction that the sole of your foot is facing as a way of thinking about it. So you should get a little bit more weight into the left hip and into the right shoulder. And only go as far as it feels comfortable. This is one of those ones that's easy to go into strain. There's a lot of restriction on internal rotation around the hip. There's probably few movements around that locate the limitations in that movement of inward rotation and then help connect it through the whole rest of the body. So it's a really lovely way of doing that. So let's try this on the opposite side now. So left foot starts to turn the sole of the foot outward, the knee falls down toward the right knee, your head turns toward the left. Your left arm turns outward, opening up a bit, and just find the end range. And then slowly come back down. A wonderful movement for starting to kind of get how walking patterns move from the hips down through the legs, through the knees and into the ankles. And then just letting yourself take that in. And you can do that in any combination. You could just focus on the right side for a while and then move across to the left. You could just do just inward rotations on first the right and then the left, and then come back and try external rotations on the right and the left. There's so many ways you can amuse yourself with this and keep it engaging. And so this is very, very useful, but as you can see, a little bit challenging. Let's just come into it one more time, stroking with your right foot along the inside of the left leg, letting your head turn across to the left, letting that knee fall out to the right. Slowly stroking back down towards center. Now we'll stay this time on the right side and do the external rotation part. So let your head turn toward the right, let your foot come toward the right as your knee falls down toward the left knee, and you're just turning out toward the right and feeling that pressure into the left hip, right shoulder, and then just letting the movement come back down straight again. Just feeling the difference between the right and the left for a moment. And now we'll come with the right foot, or now we'll come with the left foot, stroking along the inside of the right leg. Your head turns toward the right. Knee falls out on the left, feeling that engagement, the right shoulder and the left hip. And slowly easing back down, letting that rest for just a moment, and then foot turning outward to the left, knee falling down toward the right, head turning toward the left, and feeling that pressure between the right hip and the left shoulder blade. And slowly come back down again.